I commissioned one Fakemon for every unused type combination in Pokemon. And in this video, I'm going to show you what we came up with. So here we go. Also, this video is sponsored by Tokyo Tree and Sakura Co, but we'll get into that in a bit. Alright, let's start with my favorite type combination from the bunch, the normal rock type. And you're probably wondering why this is my favorite. Well, it's because of the meme potential it has. You see, I thought it'd be hilarious if the first normal rock type Pokemon was quite literally just a normal rock. Yeah, just a random boulder on the side of the road that happens to have a face drawn on it with a marker. And the mystery behind this Pokemon is that no one actually knows if it's a real Pokemon or not. So therefore, they allow trainers to battle with it. So meet Rocky, the normal rock type Pokemon that comes with the ability to disguise and only knows the move Fling. But when this Pokemon uses Fleeing, instead of the item being thrown, the trainer throws the Pokemon at the opponent. And let me tell you, it is quite effective. Yeah. And if you're wondering what happens when its disguise gets busted in battle, well, simply its drawn face wears off. So it just becomes a normal boulder, or should I say a normal rock. But miraculously after it's healed, its drawn face comes back, so maybe it's a real Pokemon after all. We may never know. And before we continue, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about Tokyo Tree, the best Japanese snack box around. This box, wait, no, Sakura Co is the best snack box around. What are you talking about? Mini B, I'm doing a sponsor right now. We shouldn't be talking about other Japanese snack boxes at the moment. Yeah, right, don't listen to him. Sakura Co is definitely the best because every month they'll send you 20 traditional and authentic Japanese snacks that even include teas and special Japanese tableware. Like, look at these chopsticks they gave me. They feel so nice. Oh yeah, Mini B? Well, Tokyo Tree says 20 of the latest, most exclusive limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. And I'm saying exclusive, like Sakura Pepsi and Japanese sake Kit Kats. Does Sakura Co do that? No. What'd you say? I was too busy enjoying the best Japanese snack box over here. I didn't even hear a word you said. Okay, alright, whatever. The video is sponsored by both Tokyo Tree and Sakura Co. Are you happy? Yeah, that's cool. Alright then, so with both Tokyo Tree and Sakura Co, they want to share Japanese culture to the world through the medium of snacking. And between the two, Tokyo Tree focuses more on pop Japanese snacks, while Sakura Co focuses more on traditional. Yeah, this Okinawa cinnamon cookie is amazing. Y'all should definitely check it out. Oh nice, yeah, I'm trying out the Saku Saku Panda salted cookies from the Tokyo Treat box, and man, these are delicious. Yeah, and if you're wondering what the heck you're eating, both Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co provide a cultural guide booklet that shows what everything is. So if you're allergic to tree nuts like Bigger Me is, then you'll know. Yeah, I do be allergic to tree nuts though. But yeah, we'll let you decide on what you think is the better Japanese box. You can choose down below and use code Dobbs to get $5 off your first order for either of them, or even both. Tokyo Tree's current theme is Sugo Summer with summer themed treats, while Sakura Co's current theme is Okinawa Retreat, where they've created snacks from the ingredients from the Ojimi villages, who are known for having the highest life expectancy in the world. So yeah, big shout out to Tokyo Tree and Sakura Co for sponsoring this video. Be sure to go check them out. And with that said, let's get back into the video. Next, we have the Fire Grass type, and I am positive we're going to see this type combination in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Because you know what works best for this type combo? A hot chili pepper Pokemon. And since Scarlet and Violet takes place in Spain, I would be shocked if they didn't utilize this perfect opportunity. So with that said, here's the Fakemon we came up with. And I was going to name it Reptar, which is a combination of the word Reaper from the Carolina Reaper Pepper and the word reptile, but I just realized that the old cartoon Rugrats has a dinosaur named Reptar, so I'm not sure if it would work out. Now, with our Reptar, I think this Pokemon would be a final evolution of a 3-stage line, and I think it'd be perfect in the first stage with a Route 1 Pokemon. Because just imagine, you're starting Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and one of the first Pokemon you encounter is a cute little green pepper Pokemon. And then throughout your journey going through Spain, you evolve into this awesome hot chili pepper Pokemon. I just think that would be so fun. And as for his stats, I think it'd definitely be an offensive attacker, with probably the ability Flame Body, because when you eat a hot chili pepper, your mouth do get burnt though. And as for his signature move, maybe you could have the move Heat Wave, because again, when you eat a hot chili pepper, the heat does come in waves. Next, we have the Steel Poison type, and this one is kind of contradictory because how could a Steel type Pokemon also be poisonous? Well, we came up with the perfect solution, and shout out to the Help Squad from the Dobbs Nation Discord server for suggesting it. What if the first Steel Poison type Pokemon was an old metallic toy that had rusted throughout the years? Well, meet Tintin, the 1950s Japanese space toy that came to life 50 years later. And man, I absolutely love this concept. While researching for this video, I discovered an entire genre of toys that are popular in Japan in the 1950s to 1960s, and a lot of them consist of robot-like toys made of metal. Like, look at this one, it's literally shooting laser beams out of his eyes. Or even this one, it just looks like a Frankenstein-type robot. These toys just look so cool, and if I was raised during the 1950s and 60s, I would have been all over these. So with Tintin, its poisonous type came from the rust it had developed from many years it was laying around. And of course, it was originally a steel type when it was first made. So it's basically a steel type Banette. It was first made as a toy and then later became a real life Pokemon, which is a common theme we see in the Pokemon universe. Next up, we have the Fire Fairy type, and I immediately thought this type combo would be perfect for a Pixie Fireball Pokemon, because just recently I saw the animated film House Movie Castle, and there's this character named Calcifer in it. And what's so cool about Calcifer is that it's a fire demon that falls from the sky. And with these fire demons, as soon as they hit the ground, they extinguish. But if someone happens to catch one of them before that happens, they can then bind a contract where the fire demon lives, and the person who caught them gains magical powers. So I thought our Fakemon could be just like that. So here's how, the first Fire Fairy type Pokemon. And just like with Calcifer, Howls come from the sky as well, and can only survive if a trainer catches them before they hit the ground. So just imagine a meteor fall of fireballs coming from the sky, and you're just trying to hit one of them with a Pokeball to catch one. I just think that'd be such a fun way to catch a rare Pokemon, especially if it turns out to be a shiny. And once you catch one of them, they become extremely useful, because just like with Rotom, Howls are extremely malleable. They can heat up a pan to cook some eggs, or even a fireplace to keep you warm, or heat up something as big as a hot air balloon. So they're quite the Pokemon to have. And finally, to keep the flavor with this Pokemon, I think the first move they would learn would be Wish, because after all, they are demons and love making contracts. Next, we have the normal Ice type, and the Pokemon we came up with is based on a hilarious real-life animal. Now, if you've never heard of them, there are rodents in Norway called the Norway Lemming. And there's a popular misconception with these lemmings that they're driven to commit mass unlifing themselves when they migrate by jumping off cliffs. And it's not deliberately, but rather a result of their migratory behavior. They basically just do a trust fall when they see their packs jumping off. So these animals are pretty wild. So here's Lemon, the lemming Pokemon, and as you can tell, it looks pretty worried because it's eager to find its pack and migrate somewhere. Lemon is an ice type because the animal they're based on only live in the Baltic Shield, which is occupied by Finland, Sweden, and Norway. And I thought it'd be funny if we gave Lemon a new ability called Ticking Time Bomb, which gives a 25% chance to randomly self-destruct before attacking. Oh, and one of the first moves it learns is Final Gambit, so this Pokemon is pretty crazy. So if I could sum up Lemon in one word, I would say unhinged, because this Pokemon can self-destruct at any minute, quite literally. Next, we have the type combination that we should have seen back in the very first generation. Because if you didn't know, back in Generation 1, Raichu was actually given an evolution named Gorochu. And according to Game Freak, the only reason why the idea was scrapped is because of the limitations they had with the game's data. So in order to save some space, they went back and changed Pokemon that had originally evolved twice and making them only evolve once. So unfortunately for us, Gorochu was scrapped, along with countless other Pokemon that would have evolved twice. But if that would have never happened and Gorochu survived the purge, I think it would have been the first electric fighting type Pokemon. Because according to Game Freak again, Gorochu had fangs and horns and looked like a god of thunder. And that sounds like a Pokemon that would have had two types instead of one. So here's our reimagined Gorochu, which is inspired by the scrap back sprite from Generation 1. And as you can see, it is a fierce looking mouse, and definitely has some godlike look to it. And what makes it a fighting type is that it uses its tail to club its opponents with, and of course it uses its fists as well. And I think upon evolution, it would have learned Thunder Punch and Double Kick, and then in later levels, it learned Thunder and Submission, making this a pretty rewarding Pokemon, especially if it required you to train a Raichu in order to get one. Next, we have the Bug Dragon type, and I'm still shocked this type combination still hasn't been used yet, especially since both the Bug and Dragon typings have been around since Generation 1. So after 25 years of waiting, I decided to make my own Bug Dragon type Pokemon. So meet Dragoon, the prehistoric Dragon Bug Pokemon. And I would say there's a difference between prehistoric and ancient Pokemon, because in the latest TCG expansion, Lost Abyss, there's an Aerodactyl card that takes place from ancient time where you can clearly see a Tropius. So that means there are other Pokemon like Relicanth that have been around for eons and haven't really changed much throughout the millions of years. And I think Dragoon fits in that category pretty well. And on top of being a prehistoric Pokemon, I think Dragoon will fit well as a pseudo-legendary, because pseudo-legendaries tend to be the first among their type combination, and on top of that, as you can see, a lot of them are Dragon type. And that's probably because the Dragon typing is known to be a legendary typing. I swear they said that in the anime somewhere. Along with that, I think Dragoon will be the final evolution of a 3-stage Pokemon. But I didn't get Archimation for the first 2 stages, so if you want to draw it yourself, be sure to tweet me at Ethan Dobbs. But yeah, I love the design of this Pokemon. It really gives me Generation 1 vibes from it being a fat-looking monster. Next, we have the normal bug type, and the Pokemon we came up with is definitely one of my favorites. So meet Beluga, the first normal bug type Pokemon. And when I was brainstorming on what we could do for a normal Pokemon that has the bug typing, I took some inspiration from Parasect, which is a bug that's infested with parasites. So with Beluga, it's a normal bear, but what makes it a bug type is that it's infested with fleas. And as you can see, it has scratch marks all over it because it is very itchy. And props to you if you notice it, but yes, this Pokemon is based on Baloo from Jungle Book, one of my favorite Disney movies. And in that movie, during the song Bare Necessities, Baloo scratches his back on a palm tree. And as you can tell, he is enjoying it a lot, so that is what inspired me for Baloo. And with that, I think it'd be fun that Beluga had a new ability where if a Pokemon makes physical contact with it, they adopt the infestation status, which takes 1/8 of the target's maximum HP because it's infested with bugs. And I also think it'd be fun if Beluga had bug type moves like Bug Bite and Quiver Dance, along with normal type moves like Crush Claw and Thrash. I just think all around Beluga would be such a fun Pokemon, especially seeing it itch itself in like a dancing motion in its idle animation. Next, we have the Bug Dark type, and to this day, I am shocked this type combination still hasn't been used yet, because these two types go together like peanut butter and jelly, or in Pokemon terms, like grass and poison. So I really wanted our Fakemon to represent this typing well. So meet Luneville, the first Bug Dark type Pokemon. And I think the artist, Fakemon trainer Adam, killed it with the design. As you can see, Luneville definitely has a sinister look to it, and that's exactly what I wanted since the dark typing is the evil type in Japan. I think its fur looking like a skull and also having a glare pattern in its wings are brilliant touches. And I guess canonically, this would be the only evil bug type Pokemon to exist, so I couldn't imagine humans messing with this Pokemon as well. And if you're wondering, the design is based on a Lunamoth, a really pretty moth that has white fur and beautiful wings. And it's also known as the American Moon Moth, so it fits well with the dark type. And before you say it, I know, a Black Widow probably would have fit better as the first Bug Dark type Pokemon. But I think that is too expected, and I couldn't see Game Freak doing that. And really, I can't think of any creative designs that could go along with a Black Widow, because at that point, they should have just made Ariados a dark type Pokemon. It would have fitted better anyways. But yeah, I am really satisfied with Luneville. It came out awesome. Next, we have the Rock Ghost type, and this is a type that I've wanted for a while now. And I'm pretty sure at one point I drew a Rock Ghost type Fakemon, but I have to go back and find out my old computer or something. But yeah, that old drawing I did is part of the idea for Goldstone, the Rock Ghost type Pokemon I commissioned. And as you can see, it is a possessed tombstone that is floating with some earth attached to it. And if you look at the bottom of it, you can actually see leftover bones from a deceased being that was buried with the tombstone. I wonder which human or Pokemon that was. And what's really cool about Goldstone is that it would be a one-of-a-kind Pokemon, because the Ghost type has been paired up with every typing except for the Rock type. So this combo is quite literally 25 years in the making, since they both debuted in Generation 1. And of course, I think it'd be fitting if Goldstone had the ability to levitate, so that it'll only be weak to Ghost, Steel, Water, Grass, and Dark. Which sounds like a lot of weaknesses, but you also have to keep in mind that it is immune to normal fighting and ground type attacks. And also takes 1/2 damage from Flying, Bug, and Fire, and 1/4 damage from Poison. So just with this typing and ability alone, Goldstone would be a defensive wall. And thinking about it, I think that'd be pretty fitting for it. It could have moves like Soul Split, Destiny Bond, Ancient Power, or even Rock Tomb. It'd just be a stalled Pokemon that's sole purpose is to outlive the opponent, even though it's already dead. And if you're wondering, I think Goldstone would either be a standalone Pokemon or a 2-stage Pokemon. And the first stage could be a Wandering Ghost type Pokemon with a shovel or something. But yeah, I just love this concept. Next, we have another type combo that we almost saw back in Generation 2, and that is with the scrap Pokemon Animon. And if you didn't know, this creepy looking Pokemon was almost the evolution of Ditto, and it was noted in the game's coding that Ditto evolved into Animon via Metal Coat, though it is unclear whether it would have been a pure Steel type or a normal Steel type. But let's just imagine the latter, because I have a hard time imagining a pure Steel type Pokemon being malleable enough to transform into other Pokemon. And yes, you heard that right, Animon's niche was the same as Ditto, it only knew the move Transform, so maybe it transformed into Steel type versions of the Pokemon it was targeting, which honestly would have been an awesome concept. And with the art we have here, I had Dark Winnie reimagined Animon with a more modern look. I think this Pokemon is what possibly inspired Melton, so it having a similar Mercury look to his body fits quite well. And yeah, that's pretty much all we know about Animon. It would have been a cool Pokemon concept and possibly the first normal Steel type Pokemon. And maybe one of these days, we'll see it come to be. Up next, we have the normal poison type, and this is the last of the normal type combinations, being that there's 5 unused ones. Now, what immediately came to mind for this type combination was a platypus, because if you didn't know, platypuses are among the very few mammals in the world that are venomous. So with that, meet Platy, the platypus Pokemon. And Platy is the first stage of a 2-stage Pokemon, because I thought it'd be fun for a platypus Pokemon to start as a normal poison type and then become a water poison type upon evolution, entirely changing its primary typing. And this suits well for it being a platypus, because because platypuses are just flat out weird. So it wouldn't be as surprising to see his primary typing change, because with these creatures, anything is possible. So with Platy being the first stage Pokemon, I think it'll learn moves like Flail, Fury Swipes, and its own poison type move, Poison Kick. Since platypus's venom gland are located on the back of their legs and eject from their hind spur. So just imagine a platypus doing a high jump kick like animation with some poison squirting from it. It could look either very weird or pretty cool. But yeah, a pretty simple concept for a simple type combination. Next, we have the ground fairy type, and at first, I was pretty stumped with what creature could fit this typing. But after asking around for some ideas, Fakemon trainer Adam came up with a brilliant idea to base it on a Nuno Sapunso, which is a dwarf-like nature spirit that resides on an anthill or termite mound. And Nuno Sapunso translates to Old Man of the Mound. And in the Western, this mythical creature could probably be better known as a hobbit, like from Lord of the Rings. And I just thought that worked perfectly for this type combination. So here's Hobbit, the ground fairy type Pokemon. And with his name, I essentially took the word hobbit and mound and fused them together. And it seems to fit pretty well. Kinda sounds like the word hermit, which is synonymous with an old man who lives in solitude. And since Adam came up with the idea, he went ahead and made a second form of Hobbit where it's missing his mounted body. And I think this would be like Icy's ability, Ice Phase, where when Hobbit gets hit with a physical attack, the mount takes a hit as a substitute and breaks off from his body. And instead of Ice Phase, we can call it the mounted ability so it makes more sense. As for his stages and move pool, I think Comet would suit best as a standalone Pokemon with no evolutions. And for his move pool, I think we'll learn moves like Crafty Shield, Play Rough, Earthquake, and the mud moves like Mud Bomb, Shot, Sport, and Slap. Because Comet do be very muddy though. And yeah, I really love the concept for this Pokemon. It seriously fits well for the ground fairy typing. And maybe someday we'll see something like this in the future. Next up, we have the fighting ground type, and let me ask you, what is the first creature that comes to mind when thinking about a grounded fighting monster? Did you happen to think of the Ninja Turtles? Because that's the only option. So here's Da Vinci, the fighting turtle Pokemon. And as you probably know, the Ninja Turtles are all named after high Renaissance artists, so the name Da Vinci comes from Leonardo's family name of Vinci. And as you can see, Da Vinci really looks like a Pokemon version of a Ninja Turtle, and the marks on his body resembles each bandana color the Ninja Turtles wear. I'm not sure if these marks would have any kind of ability with them. We basically added them because without them, Da Vinci looked kind of naked. But if y'all have any fun ideas, let us know in the comments. As for his ability and move pool, I think Da Vinci would have the bulletproof ability, because apparently the shells of the Ninja Turtles are bulletproof. So Da Vinci would just simply turn around and take moves like Ice Ball, Energy Ball, Beak Blast, and Octazooka. As for his move pool, I think we'd have Water Shuriken, Karate Chop, Smokescreen, Double Team, Spikes, and probably Manitoon or Earthquake for his stab ground type move. Just all fun ninja-like moves to give it flavor. Oh, and also, let's just say Da Vinci only eats pizza. Even if it's holding a berry like a citrus berry, it won't eat it. It will only eat pizza, which will be a pretty fun concept as well. For the second to last typing, we have the Ice Poison type. And to get right into it, here is Totodile, the sick frog Pokemon. Now, with this type combination, I definitely wanted a Pokemon to be sick. And what inspired me for this idea is this awesome concept by Iron Wolf 09, where this ill Fakemon has a split evolution where it evolves into either a Pokemon with a fever or a Pokemon with a cold. And after thinking about poisonous creatures that could possibly pull off this ill look I was looking for, I settled with a frog, just because their heads are big enough to have an ice pack on them, and that's basically it. So with Totodile, I think it'd be a 2-stage Pokemon, and the first stage would need to hold an Ice Heal while leveling up in order to evolve, just like with the Inspiration Fakemon by Iron Wolf. For its ability and move pool, I think it'd be fun if Totodile had its own signature for each of them. So for the ability, I was thinking it could be the Fever ability, where the user is afflicted with a burn status upon entering the battle. And for its signature move, it could have the Noxious Snot attack, where the user sneezes and hits the opponent with a base 50 power while having a chance of poisoning them, since, you know, colds can be contagious. And for its other moves, it could have moves like Frost Breath, Ice Ball, Belch, Poison Jab, and possibly Facade. But that might be a bit too powerful, since Totodile automatically becomes burned when entering the battle. But yeah, there's Totodile, the first Ice Poison type Pokemon. And finally, we have the Fighting Fairy type, which can lead to a bunch of fun Fakemon concepts, but for this video, we came up with something a bit more simple. And this Fakemon is somewhat inspired by Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, because for some reason, I just thought of Tinkerbell throwing punches at Captain Hook and thought, hey, that could be a Pokemon concept. So here we are. For Tinkerbell's moveset, I think we'd have the moves Play Rough, Mach Punch, Revenge, and Burning Jealousy. And Burning Jealousy because Tinkerbell is a very jealous fairy. And as you can see, when she's red, she burns things. So maybe Tinkerbell is a mad or jealous fairy. And maybe for its ability, it would have a new ability called Pixie Dust, where the user and its allies have levitation. Exactly how Tinkerbell works in Peter Pan. But yeah, a very simple concept for the last unused type combination. And there you go, one new Pokemon for every unused type combination. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if y'all enjoy this video, y'all should check out my one fetch for every Unova Pokemon video right here, or even my parody videos if you feel like laughing. And also, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.